Hi, everybody. I want tonight's broadcast to be seen by some folks that don't usually see my broadcast. So I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction. Sorry for those of you who know me. My name's Katie. I'm a transgender woman living in Topeka, Kansas, and I've been in transition for a little more than a year now. And I want to talk today to people who are uncertain or afraid or not sure what they want to do. Um, and I want to tell you about my day because it's this really amazing story. Um, when I got my job where I am now, I had been out at my previous work, but it was a work study position. And the job that I was applying for was a business systems analyst in a software design company that builds and hosts software products, and it's a pretty big deal. And I had told my recruiter that I was transgender, and she was hip with it, and I'd been out at my previous workplace, but I went ahead and interviewed as male just because I didn't know the culture and I didn't know the environment. Well, after I got the job offer, I got a message on Facebook from a woman who's sort of a vague friend of mine, not a good friend, and she said, "Hey, I'm scheduled to train you next week, but your male name is on the piece of paper. Do you want me to correct it?" And I said, right. And I don't, whoa, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not sure about that. But I said, well, I'd love to come as female because I am female. But I just don't, I don't know how that's going to work. And she said, well, let me talk to my friend on the cultural diversity committee. And so then pretty soon I'm Facebooking with someone that I don't know at all. And by the next morning, I had the director of HR on the phone, and she just said, look, if you're female, come as female. And I said, oh, okay. And I got my manager on the phone who I'd never met, we hadn't met yet. And she said, yeah, if you're female, just go ahead and come as female. So the night before I was supposed to start, I was on the phone with my good friend Tracy and saying, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And she said, look, none of those people are ever going to know that you weren't Katie. They're never going to have known anybody else. Just walk in there and own it. That was her phrase. Walk in there and own it. And I walked in there like a mad woman. I was so panicked about how I was going to be received, and I was so panicked that I wasn't going to be taken seriously. I just almost killed them, with overexuberance. I had a great idea for everything, and I read everything immediately when they gave it to me, and stayed up all night every night, learning the training material for the next day, so I was sure I'd get 100%, and kind of freak some people out doing that. Um, but the reception has just been amazing. I mean, for like the first week, conversations stopped in the hall as I walked by because everybody was like, and it can still get a little weird. We have some folks from different cultural backgrounds that work there, and the idea of having a transgender woman peeing in their bathroom is really kind of genuinely upsetting for some cultures. And I always go to one bathroom so that people know, if you're freaked out by Katie in the bathroom, don't go in that bathroom. But I got my first set of job assignments, and it went very well. I was able to complete the tasks on time, and I was able to work with team members effectively. I had a systems engineer who is also a new hire, and he and I kind of buddied up, and it's like, I'll watch out for you, you watch out for me. And I started making friends with just different people. I've met some really amazing people, and so I'm coming up on 90 days. I'm not quite to 90 days yet. Well, we had a social event today. It was bratwursts and then root beer floats, and then all the executives got up and talked. And I went around and I chatted with all the guys from my team who I chat with, who I work with every day. And then chatted with Maggie, who's the person who got me in the door. And I sat down with some people who were complete strangers, but of course everybody knows who I am. And we just started chatting away. And I started getting the weirdest feeling because I'd been me all day. I hadn't been pretending to be male, and I hadn't been angry about life. I used to be so angry with life just every day, just something aggravating about life. I'm convinced it's just that my brain's not built to handle testosterone. I was just a bitch every day. And I think about stuff, I have a son and we have such a great time and we hang out and it's just groovy. And I think about how hard it was for my daughters when I was before transition, when I was just so cross all the time and so unhappy. And none of those people ever knew that unhappy person. A lot of those people have seen me angry and frustrated. I mean, we work in a high pressure work environment, and they've seen me going, well, we're never going to be able to do it that way because and being stressed. But none of them have seen that miserable person. They all think that I'm a friendly person. They all think that I'm pleasant to hang around with. They talk about pokeballs, and I make fun of them for talking about pokeballs, and we all have a good laugh. And it's just so friendly, and it's not just people who have to work with me. I'm training new hires in that environment. I wrote a training program for onboarding after I went through onboarding because I felt like there were issues with it, and they accepted that. And one of the things that I did at the beginning of the festivities this evening was take the new hire that I was training up there and started introducing her around. Oh my God, you guys, I'm me. I'm me, and I'm accepted as me. Those people don't know what it took to get here. They don't know the years that I was trying to drink myself to death. They don't know the years that I was depressed for years on end. They don't know all of the hell that I went through. They just know me. And I don't want to say, and they all like me, because no, there's a lot of different opinions about me. I'm difficult to get along with sometimes. But the point is that the person that they know is the person that I want to be when I wake up in the morning. She's the person that I want to see in the mirror. One day out of the first 90, I looked in the mirror and I had my makeup right. And I was like, yay! And I was so excited. And I suddenly had the need to look back and to just say to everybody, whether your problem is that you're actually female, whether the problem is that you're male, whether the problem is that you're gay, whether the problem is that you belong to some weird ethnic group that you're not happy belonging to, or everybody else is unhappy that you belong to that group and you want to be real happy to belong to that group. The day that I changed, that I decided I was ready to transition, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was in transition, and I didn't know it. And we can say, yeah, it was him. I talked to him and he triggered me. But the real deal is that I realized I was going to die someday. I don't know what day. Next week, 63 years from now, who knows, right? But I didn't want to get to that day having never been me, having never been satisfied inside of myself with who I am fundamentally. And I want to say to everybody who has doubt for any reason, who wants to do it but is afraid, needs to do it but is paralyzed, the day that I had today, just today, if this was the only day that I got to be completely me, it would be worth it. It felt so good when I was driving home, and it dawned on me that the reason why I feel elated is because all 700 of those people in that room today only know Katie. They have only ever met Katie, and they like or dislike Katie. They work with or don't want to work with Katie. They are taking a training from Katie. They are assigned to a team with Katie. And Katie loves being Katie. Katie has the greatest time. I love being me. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, guess what I'm going to do today? I'm going to be Katie all day. And it's the most beautiful feeling. It's the most empowering. And listen, I know that we pay prices for who we are. I know that there are people out there who will be violent to us and who think very stupid things about us, and you do need to be careful. But I have to tell you that I meet 1,000 people who either don't care or are supportive for everyone that wants to be a dick. And I, I have more friends right now that I can hit up on Facebook than at any other point in my history, because the first time in my life, I'm somebody that I would want to be friends with. I'm who I'm supposed to be. I feel right in my body for the first time in my life. And I want to take the real elation that I have now and lend it to you. If you want to do it, if you need to do it, I promise you that being yourself is worth the incredible price you pay. Be careful, don't get yourself hurt, but I walked into a software design company that's worth so many gazillion dollars a year, said, I want a high-tech job. I want it for X amount of money, and I want to come in as a female. It worked. It worked. I'm good. I'm solid. Met with my manager yesterday. We bullshitted. Took on 171 tasks on a problem list yesterday. Got assigned to me. Katie, me. Woo! So take a chance. Be yourself. Love who you are and who you are meant to be. It's going to be great. You're going to have a ball. Live it, okay? Just live it. Live it today. All right. I love everybody on the whole fucking planet. I'll see you guys later.